Okay, picture this. You're standing in a field in the middle of rural Georgia, and right there in front of you is this massive, mysterious granite monument. 6 giant slabs, all arranged perfectly. It honestly looks like something left behind by some ancient civilization. But this was no ancient relic. This is the story of the Georgia Guidestones.
And man, were they ever. We're talking about stones standing over 19 feet tall. They were even astronomically aligned, designed to work as a calendar, a clock, and a compass. You get the same kind of awe you feel looking at Stonehenge.
But here's the first real twist in the story. These things weren't ancient at all. They were built in 1980, with modern tools and equipment. And that fact, well, it doesn't solve the mystery. If anything, it makes the whole thing even weirder.
So the story goes that in 1979, a man walked into a local granite company. He used a fake name, R.C. Christian, and said he was representing, and I quote, a small group of loyal Americans. Their goal? To build a monument that could survive a global catastrophe and give guidance to whoever was left.
And listen, this was no small project. We are talking about 237,746 pounds of solid granite. That's well over 100 tons. And it wasn't just for looks. A hole was drilled through the center stone to line up with the North Star, and a slot was cut to track the sun during the solstices and equinoxes. This thing was built to last, and it was built with a very specific purpose in mind.
So, what was that purpose? Well, the real heart of the monument, and let's be honest, the source of all the controversy, was the message carved right into the slabs. In 8 different languages, you'd find 10 guidelines, a sort of 10 commandments for a brand new age.
These are laid out like instructions for rebuilding society, covering everything from government to spirituality. But a few of them, like that very first one, maintaining humanity under 500 million people, that immediately raised some eyebrows. On the surface, maybe they just seem like eccentric ideas for a better world, but for a lot of people, the devil was in the details.
This phrase, which was carved into the capstone, suggests the creators had this grand utopian vision. And you have to remember, this was built at the height of the Cold War. The fear of a nuclear apocalypse was very, very real. So in that context, leaving a message for potential survivors, it seems almost thoughtful, right? But that is not how everyone saw it. Not by a long shot.
The backlash was immediate, and it was fierce. I mean, from the second these things were unveiled, they became a total magnet for suspicion. What some people saw as well-meaning guidance, others saw as a deeply sinister manifesto.
And this is where interpretation really becomes everything. You can see how what the creators might have meant as guidance was seen by critics as something much darker. That call to keep the population under 500 million, that wasn't seen as a goal for a post-apocalyptic world. It was seen as a direct plan for mass genocide. And guide reproduction wisely, people immediately read that as a call for eugenics. To them, this wasn't advice. It was a threat from some shadowy New World Order.
And from there, the theories just got wilder and wilder. A local pastor, right at the unveiling, claimed they were built for devil worship. Others started calling them the 10 Commandments of the Antichrist. Soon they were linked to the Illuminati, QAnon, and some people even claimed they were a literal lightning rod built to channel demonic energy.
Prominent conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones really fanned the flames. What's interesting is he actually argued against destroying the stones, not because he disbelieved the theories, but because he saw the whole monument as an open confession letter from some secret global elite that needed to be exposed. Eventually, this whole thing bled right into mainstream politics. In 2022, a candidate for governor in Georgia, Candace Taylor, made destroying the Guidestones a central part of her platform. She even put out campaign videos calling them a demonic monument. For over 40 years, this battle was basically fought with spray paint, pamphlets, and political speeches. But on July 6, 2022, that war of words turned into a literal explosion.
In the early morning hours, somebody detonated an explosive device, and it just shattered one of the main pillars. Later that exact same day, authorities decided the rest of the structure was unsafe, so they brought in heavy machinery and demolished what was left. After 42 years, the Georgia Guidestones were just gone.
So with the monument now just a pile of rubble, the mystery of who built it and what they really wanted, well, it can probably never be solved. The real identity of R.C. Christian is locked away somewhere, the physical evidence is gone, and all that's left is the legend and these wildly competing theories.
Which of course brings us all the way back to the central question that's been fueling this entire saga for decades. What were these stones really for?
So, what do you think? Was this a sincere, if maybe a little eccentric attempt to leave a message of hope and reason for the survivors of a potential apocalypse? Or was it exactly what its critics claimed, a public declaration of a sinister plot by some secret cabal to rule the world? You know, when you're faced with competing theories like this, there's a useful little tool we can use called Occam's razor. It's a philosophical principle that basically says the simplest solution, the one that requires the fewest assumptions, is usually the right one.
So let's just forget the global conspiracies, the Illuminati, the demonic rituals for just a second. If we apply Occam's razor, the most straightforward answer might just be that a wealthy, eccentric idealist with a flair for the dramatic and a whole lot of money saw Stonehenge one day and thought, you know what? I want one of those.
In the end, maybe the story of the Guidestones is less about the stones themselves and more about us. Their journey from this weird Cold War-era curiosity to a flashpoint in our modern culture wars, ending in a literal explosion, it really holds up a powerful mirror. It forces us to ask, in an age where we are just saturated with information and misinformation, how do we decide what to believe? And more importantly, what happens when those beliefs collide?